Hello, my name is Jeanette, and I'm a registered nutrition dietetic technician. Today, I would like to share with you how to read and use food labels. This is critical and essential information in order to maintain health. The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, in 2016 implemented new label requirements that the companies had to meet. That happened in 2016, but they allowed the companies to comply. And any company that made over $10 million, they had to comply by January 1st, 2020. And those that made less than $10 million, those companies had to comply by January 1st, 2021. So the big difference that I want you to know is that there's several things that pop up with the new label. And the first one that pops up besides the titles is right underneath nutrition facts is the serving size. Now they have made this requirement to be bold. That is to make the consumer aware that the serving size is 2/3 of a cup or 55 grams. Most people know what 2/3 of a cup, not 55 grams, looks like and feels like in your hands. But they still, what I'm not still happy that is that is subdue, still above the serving size is the number of servings. So if the person was eating out of a, let's say, a bag of chips and they ate that whole bag, well, and did not take out, what it would have looked like a serving size, they would had eaten 230 calories per serving. You can see that they also made this very bold. So 230 calories times 8 servings is a whopping 1,840 calories. That is a lot of calories because these food labels are based on a 2,000 calorie diet for a healthy individual. So, one of the good things that they have done is to say that the serving is this big amount of calories that it pops up in that food label. The next thing that I'm going to discuss is that they still have the same thing, the total fat. Remember, carbohydrates, and actually fats first, and then carbohydrates provides the highest amounts of energy. So, according to the USDA dietary guidelines, fat requirements is between 10 and 30%. So on the right hand side, you're going to see the daily values, percentage of daily values that is required by the USDA for food dietary guidelines, and that is between 20 and 30. So here it is 8 grams of 8 grams of fat. So that's 10% of the daily value. Then we have saturated fats, it's only 1 grams. Remember, saturated fats are solid fats, it's only 5 grams, but they allow about 10% in the diet saturated fats. Saturated fats, as being solid, they're harder in the heart. And then the trans fats, those are the fats that are hydrogenated and highly toxic to the body, especially your heart. So those are a no fats. Cholesterol, we are allowed up to, if we're a healthy person, up to 300 milligrams per day. And that cholesterol in moderation, small amounts, is good because all of our hormones are made out of cholesterol. That includes estrogen, progesterone, insulin, your thyroid hormones, you name it, anything that is hormonal that is derived from cholesterol. So it's necessary to maintain good health. The other thing that they have in here is sodium. Sodium is still was bolded in the as cholesterol was in the old label, but it is still in here. And the reason that is critical is because sodium in excessive amounts will cause hypertension. Hypertension will lead to metabolic disorders, heart disease and diabetes, and it's just not a good thing to have. So the dietary guideline says that a healthy person can have up to 2,300 milligrams. In here is 7% of the daily value. They don't want you to have too much. And believe it or not, this is 160, say 7%. To be considered low sodium, it would have to be less than 140 milligrams. The last thing in here, well, not last, but carbohydrates are divided in between fibers, total sugars, and added sugars. The new thing in here with the carbohydrates is that they added uh, the requirement of added sugars. And the reason that they added this is because it's not the sugar that is naturally occurring in the product, but it's sugar that is added to make it look good, to make it taste better, to make it addicting. So this is the thing that you want to watch. Remember, a 1 teaspoon of sugar equals 4 grams. So here you have 2.5 teaspoons of sugar in a 2/3 cup serving. That's quite a bit of sugar if you're trying to maintain your weight or if you're diabetic, because this will accumulate throughout the day. And then the protein is only 3 grams, but according to the dietary guidelines, it's the USDA dietary guidelines, healthy person can have anywhere between 10 to 30% of the daily value. And this is based on how hard the person works, if maybe they're athletic, and so they're going to require much more to maintain and repair. Proteins are what repairs muscles, tendons, and everything that we are. So, and it gives us our shape too. The other things that they did was swap the vitamins and minerals. They swapped the vitamin A and C. They swapped it for D and potassium. They swapped it for D because we have in this country an epidemic of osteopenia and osteoporosis, and the potassium is a electrolyte, and a lot of people are in diuretics and things that control water, and that can cause imbalances. And remember, potassium is extremely critical for muscle movement. The next thing that I want to point out in my uh, presentation here is this is a courtesy of the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, and they require companies not just to provide that nutrition label, but to provide the ingredients based on the largest amount to the smallest amount. So if they started here with the flour, they have to indicate that the flour is enriched, because in here is bleach, and there's different things, but it's also fortified, which is a good thing. The part that is not good is that they bleached it. The part that is good is that is they're meeting the guidelines, the federal guidelines, to make it fortified, because in the past there used to be nutritional deficiencies that cause disease. And then I want you to notice too, under the chocolate milk, the first ingredient is sugar, and so that is not good. If it's a chocolate milk, it should either be chocolate or milk, the first ingredient, not sugar. So these are things that are extremely critical. The last thing that I want to point out about baking powder, a lot of baking powders companies are adding aluminum. Aluminum has no place in our diet, and a lot of people also cook with aluminum, and so this can become toxic within the body, and it's not a good thing to do. And then also be aware of things that say natural flavors. Under natural flavors, everything goes. So I want you to take a look at the labels so you can eat healthier and be healthier. And I thank you for giving me the time and listening to this information. Thank you.